What is up everyone? Welcome to a really fun little Friday video. Today we're going to be digging through this massive box of free electrical stuff. Just to give you guys an idea of size, here's a standard DVD case. You guys can really see the size of this box. It is super heavy. It was all absolutely free, and today we are going to dig into it on camera, which is going to be so fun. So stick around to check out a load of random different electrical bits and bobs that someone was throwing out. And you know, being a nerd or being a geek, sometimes these sorts of things find their way towards you. And people always ask me, how do you get free stuff? And it's just luck, really. I'm very fortunate to have my parents in a really good circle in regards to the people they work with and whatnot. My parents are antiques dealers, so there's often really good deals and really good stuff floating around that they spot. But one person they knew just gave this to them, and yeah, I get to check it all out and do whatever I want with this stuff, really. Hopefully there's something in here of some use, but even just for this video, it's totally worth it. So let's dig into this box and see what we've got. So first up, I see one of these. This is quite retro looking by today's standards. This is a little Belkin 10100 8-port Ethernet switch. Quite a handy little bit of kit. Of course, pretty much everything I do these days is gigabit, and I do have a very similar 10100 switch to this. But these can be very handy for certain applications, even in today's gigabit world. And it's designed to match some of their routers. And in fact, here is one of their routers. This is a Belkin, pretty old by today's standards, wireless router, but these were tanks back in the day from what I remember. They've got two little antennas on the back here. I'm not too sure what the specifications are, but the model number is, let's check this out. Yeah, this is the Belkin F5D76334. This is an ADSL 2 Plus modem with high-speed wireless G. So it's not ancient, but certainly not new. So we've got a little, well, quite a big Belkin Wi-Fi router with a Belkin 10100 switch. So that is the first set of things that we are pulling out of this box of tricks. Let's see what else we've got. Next up, we have something to do with a Skybox. So this is a Sky Wireless Connector Mini. Not too sure what that is. I am not a Sky user. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who aren't based in the UK or whatever, Sky is basically our most popular satellite TV subscription service. It's a very expensive way to watch television in the country, but still surprisingly popular. This is a Sky remote, which I do not have a clue how to operate. I've never known how to use a Sky remote to navigate the Skybox operating system. When I go over people's houses, I struggle to even change channel. Next up, we have a cable. This is, wow, quite a nice braided rope HDMI cable, which looks really nice and will definitely come in handy. A nice quality bit of kit there. Here we have what looks to be quite a cool 6 socket dome extension lead with the main power cable coming from the top, which is quite an interesting device. I don't know whether this would be wall mounted or ceiling mounted or something, I'm not too sure. But yeah, this is pretty cool. 6 sockets from one in a very interesting shape, so I don't know if that'll come in handy, but certainly not something to chuck out. You guys have probably noticed the hard drives by now. What I think I'll do is I'll stack up all the hard drives here, and then we'll go through them and take a look at what they all are as in type, brand and capacity. So let's just get them all up here. I think these are all of the drives from the box. If we come across any more, then I will mention them later on. So first up, we have a drive that looks very familiar to me. I have one of these in my PowerMac G3. This is a Seagate drive. It's an IDE drive, and it is 8.4 gigabytes. So quite an old one here, folks. The one that I have that's very much like this in my G3 is a 20 gigabyte drive, I believe. So yeah, this one's quite a bit lower in terms of capacity there. This one is a Hitachi DeskStar. It's a SATA drive and it is 160 gigabytes, so quite a bit newer and faster. This one is a fairly nice one. This is a Seagate Barracuda 7200.12 RPM. 500 gigabyte SATA drive, quite a thin drive as well. This is another Hitachi Desk Star. This one's quite a chunky drive. It's SATA, but it's still got Molex power, so it shows that it's pretty early. But it was probably a pretty high-end drive for its time because it's a 500 gigabyte Desk Star, Hitachi Desk Star. So yeah, quite a nice drive there. I'm guessing from around 2006, 2007 kind of time period, maybe 2005, who knows. But yeah, 500 gig, nice stuff. Here we have a WD Caviar SE. This is a SATA 2 drive. It says on the label, which is quite cool, 3 gigabit a second drive. This is a 160 gigabyte drive. Last but not least, we have a little 5400 RPM, what was it? 20 gigabyte IDE drive, ATA100 drive. So yeah, stepping back again, stepping back in time once again. I do have a few of these Maxtor drives. I've got them, I had them from various PowerMacs and stuff back in the day. These are quite thin drives, but obviously Maxtor no more. Yeah, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hard drives, and I believe only 2 of them are IDEs, so quite a nice few drives there. I think we may do a video testing those SATA drives and seeing if we can read the data or if there's any data on them. I think that would make quite an interesting video. So there's the hard drives out of the way. Let's dig into a few more things. Here we have another Sky Remote. This one looks to be possibly a little earlier from the design. It looks to be a little more retro, but they've both got batteries in, as you can see. So yeah, 2 Sky Remotes, whatever I'm going to do with those. Under here we have the Sky box itself, and this actually looks, yeah, this is a Sky Plus HD box, which is amazing. This is probably the latest box, or definitely one of the latest. It has HDMI, it has gigabit Ethernet, it has all of the audio options, so Toslink out, coaxial audio out, it has composite, it even has SCART on the back as well. This is quite a nice box, guys. If I was into Sky, then it would be cool, but if I was into Sky, I'd already have a Sky Plus HD box. I'm not sure what hacking these and stuff is like anymore. I know a lot of people used to hack these. There were people all over the place that could get you dodgy Sky cards and things, but over the last few years I haven't really heard anything about it. So yeah, if you guys have any idea what I could use an old Sky box for, or what kind of hardware it includes, there'll be a drive in here because it's a Sky Plus box. Yeah, let me know. Dolby Digital, including Dolby Digital. Cool. Yeah, so there we go, Sky Plus HD box, pretty damn cool. This roll of cable is sort of screaming out at me as being a big handy roll of cable. It looks to be stereo phono cable sort of stuff because there's 2 of it together. So this could come in handy in the future. Let's have a little look at what the cable says. This cable was actually manufactured in 2013, so this box has got some really old stuff and some really new stuff. So that's kind of intriguing. I'm going to get this out of the way and we'll dig in and take a look at what else is available here, folks. So now that that cable is out of the way, let's take a look at the rest of this stuff. I am actually coming back about an hour later. There's about an hour gap between these 2 clips, guys, just in case you're wondering about different lighting or whatever. Anyway, right, let's continue digging through the box. Here we have I've got 2 different things. Here we have a nice thick SCART cable. Looks to be of really nice quality. You can always tell when all the pins are wired up because the cable is really thick. So they will always come in handy, even though I've got quite a lot of those. Next up we have something else that always comes in handy, an additional IEC kettle lead, always very handy. Here we have what looks to be 2 lights, and they are sort of clip-on adjustable lights with a nice long cord. I might be able to use these in the kitchen or something like that. They do look very, very handy to clip onto things. But not an adjustable clip, although they do adjust like that, so they look pretty nice. They're also LED by the looks of them, so pretty awesome stuff there, folks. Interesting little power cable there. Little transformer block with the cable going straight in. That's pretty cool. Here we have just a random transformer for something. There's all sorts in here, so God knows what it's for. This is... Wow, here we have quite an interesting inclusion in the box here, folks. This is actually a foot pedal, a very, very cheap foot pedal. It's just on and off, and instead of a 1/4 inch jack, it's actually got a 3.5mm, a single pole 3.5mm headphone style jack. That would be for cheap keyboards or cheap electronic drum kits, something like that. Quite random, but you can actually use these for all sorts of different things. They're just trigger switches. They just send a pulse via the jack. So always quite handy. It's got little grippy feet on the bottom, and it does have an adjustment on the bottom for the level in which you can push it down, which is always nice. So yeah, that's pretty random. Wasn't expecting that. This is another power cable. This happens to be a figure of 8 power cable. Again, very handy. Here we have a headset, which is sort of something along the lines of an Xbox 360 headset. But on the other end, it has the PC connections, so the microphone and the speaker connections. Even though it's only got one headphone, it takes a stereo feed, so I assume both channels get pumped through that speaker. This is junk though, this is straight for the bin, it's lost all its foam, etc. Here we have another transformer. This one looks to be a... oh, hang on, what's that? Ah, this is a dock of some sort, and I believe it must be a dock for... where did I see it in here? Where did I see it? Oh, hang on, here it is. Aha! Yes, indeed. Here's a phone, here's the dock. So, pretty simple. I'm not sure if it's a house phone. I think it could be a house phone. No, or is it a mobile phone? I can't even tell, guys. I really can't tell. But yeah, so there's a dock and a phone. Next up, we have this. This is a big, all bells, all whistles, probably cost a lot of money, power conditioning station for your average nerdy geek or whatever. So let's take a little look at all the features that this thing has. Firstly, it has an on and off power switch here. It also has a very, very thick trailing lead with a very long, thick trailing lead with a 13 amp plug on the other end, of course. What else would we expect? So there's that. It also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sockets, and they are all labelled. So it's labelled with things like DVD, Blu-ray player, receiver, all things like that, media centre. Pretty cool, and probably a pretty not too old piece of tech because it does say Blu-ray. Over here we have some phone connections. You can patch your phone through this for surge protection, as well as a network patch here in and out, which is interesting. I always think that's really pointless myself. And then at this end we have an antenna pass through, it looks like, and also satellite 1 and satellite 2, which is always interesting. I've seen these products around Maplins and things like that. I've never personally owned one. In terms of build quality, it's a rubber box with a plastic top, and it's quite cheap feeling. This would be just sort of wasted money, I think. But yeah, still, nevertheless, quite an interesting product. Monster Green power controlled sockets. I'm not sure if this thing would have had a remote as well. I kind of doubt it, although, hang on a second. You can turn Monster Green power control on and off. Not too sure about that, but yeah, it's probably just a marketing sort of gimmick type of thing. So there's that. Quite interesting. I've never really seen one of those in the flesh. Next up, we've got another power cable, which is, I'm guessing, hardwired to this bit of kit. What is this? This is a Sony DVD player. Awesome. Looks like quite a nice little unit. Looks like quite a modern DVD player. It's not an upscaling DVD player because it only has SCART output, but it's cool because it has some left and right stereo outputs along with coaxial digital audio, which is really cool. So guys, we're getting down to the end of the box, but there are still quite a few things to look at. So I spy this thing, and I don't know what it is. So let's take a look at it. Let's have a little look. At the moment, this looks like a UPS. We've got IEC in, 1, 2, 3, 4 IEC out, and it's heavy. It looks like an uninterruptible power supply. Guys, this is a little UPS that gives out, let me double check. Apparently gives out 300 watts. So, my gosh, this could come in handy. This really could come in handy. A little UPS. This is wicked. we will have to test this really, really soon. That'll be an awesome video, guys. Awesome, awesome stuff. It's very small, but very, very cool. Wicked. So there's the UPS. Next up, we have another UPS. This unit is quite a bit bigger and quite a bit uglier, but this is also a Belkin unit. It's got a big battery in the front, in the back here, sorry. IEC in. There's also networking jacks. There's an RJ port there as well. RJ, what is that? RS232 connector, sorry folks. There are 8 IEC outputs for this one. It is quite heavy. Let me see if I can find an output rate on it. Apparently this one will do 255 watts. So that is interesting, guys. We're going to have to take a closer look at both of these UPSs in a separate video. So let me know if that's something that you guys would be into seeing. And then, what are we left with here? At the moment, oh, check this out. Check this out. This is an old school digital camera. I can't believe I'm saying that. Old school digital camera. It doesn't really make any sense, does it? It's a Kodak camera. Looks to be a fairly cheapish model. And at least that's the way it feels, but who knows, maybe they all felt like this. Tiny, tiny little LCD screen. I'm guessing from the very early noughties, possibly late 90s, but I'm thinking maybe around the year 2000, something like that. Let's see if there's a date. No date on here, folks, unfortunately, but yeah, pretty cool piece of kit. I bet that takes wonderfully horrific photographs. Quite a bit of connectivity on this one, quite a bit. And I'm assuming the SD card goes in there. Yeah, big compact flash card or whatever, big old school memory card in the side. Wild. Awesome stuff, folks. Here we have some kind of keypad that would have been on something, maybe on a calculator or a till or some kind of, I don't know, anything where you entered some numbers. We've just got a little board there with a ribbon cable, no idea what that's from. And this is where things start to get a little bit, there's the back of that UPS. This is where things start to get a bit crazy because I'm not sure what any of this stuff is, guys. Maybe you guys could enlighten me. I'm not 100% sure what these little kind of, it's something hobbyist, I guess. What is this? 2 little doors there with some kind of motor and a PCB. Then we have this, which looks like some kind of drive mechanism, but on some sort of sled. So I have no idea what this lot is. We have 2 of those. We've got another Sky remote. Interesting. We've got a little, what's this? Let me just quickly research this, guys. I have no idea what it is for the moment. Well, this is actually a remote control for a 4-gang extension lead. There is a switch, a 4-way switch on the back, and then a button for on-off. So that's kind of interesting. I obviously don't have the extension lead to go with it. What do we have? That's some kind of knife. Okie dokie. Interesting. We have a lot of cabling. This all looks like proprietary cabling of some sort. I believe this is all related to somebody's hobby. This is all hobbyist cabling of some sort, or maybe repairs for something. Or for all I know, it could be Sky Plus HD repairs. But yeah, some kind of, these are all mechanisms and little bits and bobs, guys. So if anyone has any information on these, I have no idea what they are. They could be something really interesting, or they could be something really boring. But these are all spares for whatever these things are. And I mean, I could sell these on eBay if I knew what they were spares for. I could put them in a bundle if they're worth anything. Yeah, there's a little God knows what everywhere. More cabling, little ribbon cabling, little clamps and bits and bobs. All brand new stuff. One of those, which looks to be some big thing. No idea what that is. And then some self-drive plugs with screws. So yeah, medium weight use. Interesting, folks. So yeah, that is indeed a box of free electrical stuff. And apart from all of this stuff at the end, we kind of pretty much knew what everything was, which is really cool. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this little look through some of these things, or indeed all of these things. Nice free box of electrical junk here, and I will be making videos on the UPSs and maybe on the hard drives, and if there's anything else that you guys want to see videos on, just let me know. But hope you guys enjoyed this video for a nice Friday evening chilled one. It was really fun to make, digging through some of this crap. And yeah, again, if you guys know what any of this stuff is, then let me know. I'm intrigued. So thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.